Housing associations are the best type of tenant. I don't think I'm ever going to rent my houses out. Every time I buy a house, I don't think I'm going to rent it out now to a normal tenant. Housing associations all the way. Supported living, yes, please. If you are wanting to get into property and you don't know about housing associations and you don't understand what supported living is and how it's massively affecting the market, the economy, helping people as well. If you don't understand this, then really you need to watch this video to the end and understand it. So I'm going to be talking about how housing associations have completely changed the business model of property investing here in the UK and how you can make a massive, scalable, profitable property business by doing this. So firstly, why don't you go ahead and just hit the like button, because I put out content like this not quite every single day, but pretty much. So hit the like button and it will show me that this is actually being listened to and this is actually helping people and incentivize me to keep on going. So hit like, let's make the video go viral. Let's change the way property investing is done. What's a housing association? What is assisted and supported living? What does it mean? How does it apply to you? So let me explain. You're going to find out why this is going to massively benefit you in a moment as a property investor. But let me just explain this, okay? There are kids that go into foster care and they are completely dependent on their carers. However, when those kids get to like 16, 18 years old and suddenly they're no longer in the care system because the carers don't get paid for them anymore, these kids are now out on their own in the big bad world. They haven't got parents. They're not necessarily able to just be on their own completely, but at the same time, they are adults. So they don't need to be in care. That in-between stage is where there will be a need for supported living. Supported living is where you're living sort of codependently. So you're independent, but not completely independent. There's someone there that can keep an eye on you, kind of look after you. This is not just for kids in care, this is also for old people. If you're an old person, you're not quite ready to have to go to a care home. Okay, you don't want to go and live in a care home. You want to stay at home, but you're in that sort of codependent stage where you do need someone to be coming a few times a day, maybe even living with you. That's the same. Same with prisoners. People that come out of prison and they're not quite ready to just come back in, get a job. So there are certain ex-offenders, vulnerable women, maybe women that have been abused, and now there's a massive need the government and the council have seen for supported living. Now, as a result of that, housing associations are being set up like crazy. So individuals are setting up companies called housing associations, and these housing associations say to the council, we will provide supported living. And the councils pay these housing associations a freaking fortune. Like, I'm talking crazy money. For ex-prisoners, some of these ex-prisoners that come out the housing associations for providing accommodation and for assisting and supporting these ex-prisoners, they'll pay them £11,000 a week.
Say what?
Per offender. Crazy. For some of these vulnerable women, for people that were homeless and are now kind of, again, at that point, there are certain people that the council will pay housing associations a fortune to house and assist these people, right? So what should you do? Should you go set up a housing association? Maybe. That's what my parents did. My mother and father-in-law have set up a housing association very successfully. And there's a lot of people that are setting up housing associations, and then what they're doing is they're getting paid direct from the council a fortune for looking after, for offering supported living to these codependent people. However, I'm a property investor, right? I don't want to go and set up a housing association. It's not my calling. I haven't got the time, haven't got the inclination. What do I have? I have properties. So what am I doing? I'm renting my houses to housing associations. And the housing associations, because they're getting paid so much money by the councils, they're paying me a fortune. All my HMOs now, I'm handing over to housing associations. Because what's the point of me renting out I had a house in Pershore Road. I'm renting this house out room by room by room by room by room. I'm renting this house out. If I did it as a single let, I'd get paid 700 quid. All right, if I just rented the house out to a family, 700 quid. If I rent it out as a HMO, I'm gonna get £2,000 a month. But I'm gonna have to pay the utility bills, so I'm only gonna be left with 1,500. But then I'm gonna have to have the hassle of managing the HMO, finding the tenants, having Jimmy and Sarah call me up, telling me they're arguing about whose turn it is to do the dishes. I'm not interested. Okay? So I'm having to manage the HMO. So I'm having to pay a management company. So I'm only gonna be left with maybe 1,200 quid. So I'm renting this house out as a HMO, I'm getting £1,200. It's better than £700, but I'm getting £1,200. Or I could pass it to a housing association and get £1,500 a month. And they'll pay the bills. And they're being paid by the council to have to manage I'm doing nothing. I'm getting £1,500 a month. It's completely systemised. It's completely automated. And these housing associations are signing 5-year contracts. I'm in. I'm ready to sign more. So if you're watching this and you're a housing association provider, come find me. I've got houses all over the place. I'm desperately looking for you guys. If you're a property investor that's looking to rent your houses out to housing associations, go on Google, type in the name of your area, Birmingham, Warsaw, Coventry, Leeds, Manchester, London, followed by housing association. Get the phone and call every single housing association one by one and say, hey, I've got a house. Are you looking for more houses? They'll probably say, oh, yes, we are. Because the council have got more people to give us, but we just need the houses. Show them your house and ask them, how much money can you give me for this house? There's very clever people that are doing rent to rent with housing associations. So they're finding people like me and saying, I'll pay you £1,000 a month rent. I got someone doing this. Someone came to me with a house. I got this house in Birmingham. They said, I'll pay you £1,000 a month. I said, I want 1,100. They're like, cool, I'll give you 1,100 a month for the whole house. I'm like, cool. They then go to a housing association. The housing association pays them 1,500. They're making £300 a month every month for 5 years for doing nothing, just for introducing me to a housing association. That's smart. So that's what housing associations are. That's what assisted living is and supported living is. If you got questions, comment below, share this video, tell the world, let's let people know how this works, because this is absolutely fundamentally life-changing to property investors, and also it's helping vulnerable people get off the streets and get the care they deserve. Peace out, thanks for watching.